Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Golden Hour Drip podcast. I'm your host, Logan Lee Miller, and I have had the perfectly curated weekend. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. If you're watching on YouTube, which, by the way, we have a YouTube version, although... You know what? I have so many updates for you guys. Although our internet has been like a little spotty because it has been so hard to upload the YouTube version. But let me tell you, we do have a YouTube version. They are coming out slower than I would hope, slower than previously done, right? Like the audio and the visual would be up at the same time. It is not the case currently, but I am looking swell. Okay, I'm looking swell. I have on, you can't really see them because I've increased the camera size or the, what the heck? The maximizer. I don't know. I've zoomed in. Oh my gosh. I've zoomed in on the camera. So it's more of my top half because my bottom half are these really cute, green camo leggings. Okay. And my washer has been out for a whole month, guys. So the previous month, my computer broke and had to get a new computer. That was a whole fiasco, but I am enjoying and loving my new computer currently. Like I've fallen in love with her. We are getting so much done together. But so that happened. Then that was in August. In September, my washer broke. I don't know why, but it wouldn't like finish a load. It would just start and then not actually finish. It would restart itself. And apparently like that is a problem in the Samsung washer that we had purchased. We've only had it for 3 years. I wouldn't say that we're like super hard on it. Like we like don't have tons of grease or dirt that's going through the washer. We do have pet hair, so maybe I thought it was a buildup of pet hair. I'm not really sure what happened, but Garrett did some tinkering around, figured out the piece that needed to be replaced, and it's going to be close to $600. Guess what? A new washer is, we found some on sale for $800. So it's like, we're almost there. 200 more, we could have a new one, which is really sad. Like we tried to find a repair person. Like we called around for several repair places. There's only 2 that would be in traveling distance, like they would come to our home. And one of them, like we called as soon as it broke and he still didn't come out, right? Like it was crazy. So we ended up on, I guess, Saturday, officially. Friday, we went and looked at a couple. I decided I wanted a top load washer. I know this is a little controversial because some people like the new thing, the like most updated in the past, 15 years has been the front load where you're loading it in the front. You're not having to like dig in and pull out clothes, right? And I just feel like the front load, I don't know what it is, but I didn't feel like it was cleaning our clothes, or maybe it's because our like washer has literally just been haywire longer than we actually thought. But when we went and traveled to like my parents' house, like to my mom's house, and I usually stay for an extended period, like a couple days. And so for me, it's no worries. Like I'm going to throw our clothes in the wash and while we're there, and always, this clothes smell so good. And I was like, what the heck? Maybe it's my detergent, because at the time I was using the Tide pods. Super easy. You throw them in, right? Don't worry about measuring. I didn't have to buy a separate softener. Like it was all in this pod. And at the time, my mom was using the disc, like the Pure Cell disc. And I was like, okay, like I'm gonna use that. And it wasn't the same. Like my clothes did not smell as good. And I was like, all right, like I don't know what the issue is. Maybe it's because my nose is acclimated to it because it's now at my home. It's not like this new smell. And then I swapped over to the Puracell brand still. Like instead of the disc, I got the liquid detergent because I read about microplastics, didn't want that. So I had the liquid, and I was hoping that since it was liquid, it would smell the clothes better, right? Not the case. The first load I did with these, with my new washer, smell amazing. So now I'm second guessing that our clothes weren't even getting properly washed, like even if the cycle was running. And I feel like with a top load, yes, like it's still using water, and now with like technologies have improved, it's not wasting as much water as like older models did. So I'm really, really excited, and our clothes smell great. But I just got this, and it has been such a crazy, wild weekend. I haven't really had a chance to do laundry, and this morning, this Sunday, as I'm sitting down to record, I had a Golden Gal Network meetup. So we were going to go for a walk and at Loose Park, walk around, hang out, chat, sit in the grass, maybe just enjoy the morning. And it rained. Oh my gosh, I was so sad. But we still decided we were going to stop for coffee. We were going to walk around. It was going to be really good. And I realized I did not have any black leggings, right? Like no neutral leggings. I had bright red, or I had these camel ones. Like, you have clothes that are like your top tier clothes, right? Like these are the clothes that I would wear out to the grocery store. I would wear to a sporting event. I would wear out. I would feel good. I would feel confident. And if someone took my photo, it was not a big deal. And then you have your second tier clothes. These are the second tier, like you don't feel as good. Maybe they are, a little big or a little small. Maybe a brand that you used to like and no longer like. Maybe they're starting to wear out a little bit, right? And then you have your third tier. The third tier is the tier that you only have at home. Okay, you only wear them around the house. And guess what? I was out of first tier, I was out of second tier, and all I had was third tier. Third tier is sweatpants and these multicolored leggings. Oh my gosh. But I threw them on. I was grateful to at least have this third tier because I was not going to wear jeans. I guess I could have wore shorts, but again, our shorts were dirty. I had been hauling our laundry to my dad's house, which he does live very close, and that is a convenience. But it's I have to wait for the cycle. I have to wait for the load. So I would take clothes over, put them in the wash, and then put them in the dryer. Well, that a 45-minute cycle, and his dryer takes like a little bit more time to actually dry the clothes. Well, now we're looking at 3 hours, and I'm not at my house. It's not like I can just click a button while I walk past. And so the laundry was like not getting done as quickly. And I feel like I had just got my routine so down with like not stacking laundry or having laundry baskets. I really have been working so hard on my automations, working very hard on my routines, and just trying to format it in a way that makes my life easier so I can focus on other things. And I feel like we've just had a breakdown of systems, like a breakdown of my computer, literally the way that I process my videos, the way that I do vlogs, the way that I research, the way that I, get on the internet for my computer, right? And that completely had to be changed. A different laptop. I had to transfer over everything, and it literally I was no longer able to do it in the way that I did it. And right before that, I was changing how I edited the videos in general, where my microphone actually hooked up to the visual, because before I just had like the camera audio. Like if you go back to like my very first podcast episodes that were put on YouTube, it was just the camera, because I didn't know I was still recording on a mic. I was just editing it separately and putting that on the like Spotify, Apple Music, and then my camera would be on YouTube. I didn't know how to combine them. And so that was a breakdown of system that then I like learned how to do it better, and I'm still working on it, right? But I just feel like there's been such an evolution of how I've been doing things, and laundry is one of them, right? Like I was so good at not letting it stack up and just keeping our house clean. Like this season of life, we have done so well with reducing the clutter, with making sure that the dishwasher is full the night before, right? Like, so it's washing the dishes. We don't have a dirty kitchen. Like I've been working so hard on just making things simpler and making things easier. So then in the areas that I do want to perform in and want to do well in, it's easier. And I am sad that we had to buy a new washer because we got the warranty this time. I feel like it is so like you need to get the warranty on your washer and dryer because they will have a breakdown, right? And I am grateful that we were able to buy a washer and we have one now. I definitely need to catch up on my tiered clothing so that I have something to wear, especially because I'm teaching yoga class tomorrow, Monday. Really exciting. Anyways, this weekend has been really great. Let's start with you on Friday. So Friday, again, I've been trying so hard to get my systems in place. And Fridays, I want to be on the couch. I want to be watching a show. I don't want to be worried about a million trillion other things. I want to be so focused. Now, this week was actually the past 2 weeks. I talked a little bit about it. Oh gosh, and I'm still going to butcher it because I never actually looked it up. Do you ever do that? Where you are supposed to, like, you're just, using information on hearsay, right? Like where you heard it and you're just going to run with it and you didn't even fact check it. Okay, so it's law of time expanding to get it completed. What is this actually called? Because I keep calling it's Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law. The work will expand to fill the time it is allotted for completion. Deadlines can cause procrastination or even prompt people to fill their time with trivial matters. So I did a really tough deadline for myself. And I'm really, really excited. I completed my website it launched this Sunday at 10 a.m. So I'm on a high of that. Like I have been working diligently on it. And this past 2 weeks, like it was more of like a daily thing. Like I have had a website, quote unquote, since 2018. I've had a domain, but it hasn't been live or it has not been active or hasn't been good. And I purchased this domain when I was about to quit my job last 22. It was that February and I was thinking, like I'm on the edge. I really do want to quit my job. And I had bought a domain. Sometimes you have to take like these really rapid leaps of faith and just like try things or do things that are going to put the pressure on you to actually like make something work or change or do something. So at that time I had put the pressure on myself. I was like, okay, I want to do this thing. I want to do like a couple leadership, what I guess conference is what you could call it. The first one was Dear Media. I'm actually wearing their sweatshirt right now. Dear Media in IRL in May. It was like my birthday celebration. It was my first time like doing a solo travel for a while. And so I did that. And then in August I had the Powerhouse Women. And then that year we had 10 weddings. Like it was crazy. Right. And so it wasn't necessarily like, I didn't have a direction of where I wanted to go. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I've always been a creative person. I've always loved to keep busy and not just like sit and like, I don't know. I was always raised to be like productive and like doing things and sometimes not even to like it has to be done, like not like that, but more, okay, we're going to crochet, or we're going to craft, or we're going to draw, we're going to write. And I truly appreciate that, because I feel like I get to have those creative extensions. That's why I'm able to sit down and record a podcast. I want to, I love to do it, but I really didn't have a direction on what my website was going to be. Right. And what it even was going to aid in, right? I just knew that Pioneer Woman had a blog when she first started, and I do love to write, and I'm pretty good at writing, but that's not what my website is. But for the past 2 weeks, it was my September goal to work on my website for 20 minutes every single day. And it's crazy. Like, I didn't have a deadline on when I wanted to get it done when I first started September. But 2 weeks ago, I was like, I am going to be releasing an event. A small, like, I have I have an event planned for my 1-year anniversary of the Golden Gal Network. And I'm really excited to have the gala. It's a little gala. It's really cute. It's really fun. More to come, more to plan. But I knew that with my gala, I wanted to have my website up and running. And the past year, I have used Event Create for my tickets and for my meetups, and it has been successful. I do feel like it was easy to learn. I didn't have to do much, easy to set it up, but I have multiple things, right? Like, I have my email list that's on MailChimp. I have my website, or like at the time it was little pieces of a website on Wix. I have my podcast that you can find on Buzzsprout or Apple Music and Spotify. And then I also have YouTube, and then I do vlogs, and then like all these little things that I knew I needed to bridge the gap. I needed to bring it together, but I didn't necessarily know the verbiage that I wanted to use, or how to make it user friendly, or what it was going to do. So I put the pressure on myself. I was like, the next 2 weeks, I'm going to dial so hard down, and I'm going to get this completed, because I have an event on October 13th. I moved up that deadline quicker, because originally I thought I was going to have an October 26th event, but I decided that that's going to be too close to my November 9th event. It's just how my brain works. I hope this is good for you. But I knew that I was going to have to be focused and all in on this November 9th event, and I wasn't going to be in the mindset to be doing other things. So I moved that event up, completely changed it. And so now we're doing a yoga, it's called Manifesting Witches. It's Halloween themed. It's going to have Halloween music. It's going to be really fun, and I'm super excited for that. But I knew when I was going to launch those tickets, I wanted to do it on my website, because I'm giving myself a little bit of a runway, if you will, from transitioning from Event Create to my Wix website. And I wanted to have a couple trial runs. And guys, let me tell you, I was so nervous this morning, because when I originally made the plan, I was like, okay, Sunday, I am launching these tickets. Like, I have got to put the work in. I've got to get this completed. My brain was melting. Like, I was trying to build it out. Granted, I'm not a coder. Okay. This is my first official website that I have created that is functional, because in the past I have had not functional websites at all. They're very clunky, not working, just like really not good. Okay. A lot of money wasted, but not actually wasted, because it led me into this, right? And so I was working so hard Friday all afternoon. Like, I worked on this website. I was putting the pieces together, and our internet was actually super spotty, and we had to have a guy come out here and got us a new router. Again, like the breakdown of systems, everything that you thought you loved or was working for you, like everything was kind of like falling apart. Like I have just been, and falling apart in a good way, like because I was getting those upgrades, because I was able to take action and move to something a little bit better. And I've had the worst time uploading my YouTube videos because my internet was just like so spotty and not wanting to load it up. So I was doing that. Again, also with my laptop, like my older laptop, its processor was so slow that it was hard to work on the Wix website. And I thought it was just like building websites hard. No, the tool that I was using was not equipping me to actually do it. And so once I upgraded my laptop, once I was forced into changing the system, then I was able to work on my website easier. I was able to move my laptop not stationary on my desk, but instead go to the couch. I work so much better when I can have a little bit of background noise. And let me tell you, I went through Selling Sunset. I went through owning Manhattan, which little controversial. I am loving owning Manhattan over Selling Sunset. And I think a lot of people also feel the same way. The drama was actually drama in the real estate business. It wasn't drama about their personal lives, which I do like. Okay. And if Selling Sunset has another season, I will watch, but totally different. But I blew through those seasons. Okay. Both Selling Sunset and Buying Manhattan. I did try the London one. I don't really like that one. I can't get through it, but I was able to take my laptop, my personal laptop, move it to the breakfast counter. I was able to move it in front of the TV. I was able to take it not just from my desk, and that expanded and really helped me sprint to complete my website. Like, it is insane. And if we're following Parkinson's law, being able to just like set the deadline and tell myself, okay, like I know because I bought a year of Event Create, like a whole year, I'm able to use it as a system or whatever. But like I said, our gala is coming up. Our 1 year anniversary is coming up. And so I know that I'm either going to have to renew that or find something different. And it was the perfect opportunity. Okay, like we are getting this done. We are getting it completed. And 20 minutes, that is the minimum. Okay. And some days are like more busier than others, right? We all have like obligations and things that like take away our time. And I knew that some of the days I wasn't going to be able to work multiple hours on it. And some days I was going to be able to, but at minimum it was 20 minutes. And even if I didn't feel like it, say it hit 5 o'clock, because of my cutoff time at 6:30, like I'm putting away my iPad, I'm putting away my computer. I'm just going to be focused, on, my other hobbies, my other crafts. Because of that, I knew 5 to 6:30. If I was going to work on my website, this was the time. I had to do it. I had to dial down. And I got everything ready for it. So Friday, I work literally all afternoon. Saturday, I work on it. Saturday, I had yoga class, taught yoga, and then I met up with a friend for breakfast and got home at 2. So I worked on it from 2 until, 8:30. I went to bed. While I was lying in bed, I was like, man, it's really still not ready. Like Sunday, I'm launching. Sunday, I had posted about it at 10 o'clock. The tickets were going to be released. And so I was like, man, it's okay. But my computer had died and I was like, well, it's time to go to bed anyways. And so 8:30, we're like kind of getting ready for bed. We're taking a shower, brushing our teeth, doing all the things, getting in bed. And so really and truly, I like to be in bed early if possible, but, Garrett is closing his eyes. It's now like 9:20. And I think to myself, I am wired. I'm wide awake. There's work to be done. I need to get up. So I was like, hey, I'm actually going to go and work on my computer some more. And I worked until 12:30. like past midnight, and I had my laptop. I was working so hard. I was trying to do all the things, and I got most of it completed. Now we have had storms this weekend. Okay. Crazy, like wind, we've had rain, we've had thunder, we've had lightning, we've had all the things. And during the night, it was storming out. And at one point, I think it was like 11:30, the Wi-Fi kind of wobbled. It disconnected from my computer. I was like, that's weird. And I was in the middle of trying to save something for the website. So I hooked it up to my computer real quick just to save it because I knew I had a hotspot. And then suddenly I was watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. My Hulu wavered and I was like, oh no. So I restarted the router or whatever, and it did come to. I worked for another hour and then I went to bed. I felt good. The only thing I had left was to curate the email. My website had officially, it launched, like it was able to like load up. And so I was happy with that. And what took a lot of time was changing the making it mobile friendly. Like it looks great on my laptop, but then like it was a little clunky at first, like trying to scroll on my computer or scroll on my phone. So that took a lot of time. But at 12:30, I was pretty tired. I've been running around. I've been working really, really hard on this project. So I went to bed and I woke up. I told myself, and this is never good, but I told myself, I was like, I'm going to get up at 6. I'm going to finish my email and then I'm going to head out for our walk, our hot girl walk, because that's going to be at 9. Okay. So I got to be up, I got to be ready, and I need to be there. So I did all of that. And then the next morning I go to sleep. I wake up 6:30 and I go, Garrett's sleeping. This is the only day that he gets to sleep in. So I left. I went to the guest bathroom. I went to flick on the light. The light did not come on. We lost power. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I felt so bad. I went into the room. I was like, hey, Garrett, like, really sorry that, like, to wake you, but our power is out and I'm a little worried about, like, our freezer and our fridge. Also our new washer. Like, I don't know if power goes out, like people talk about water leaking or things, like, I don't know. I don't know. So he got up and he's like, yeah, our power is out. We reported the outage. I was like, let's go see if my dad has power, because my computer tried to do an update last night and it used some power, but it wasn't plugged in. So it was dead and we have no power in the house. And I am about to launch my website. I need to curate my email so that it's ready to drop these tickets to all communications, right? And I was so like a little freaked out and a little nervous because I have been working so hard on this thing. And we hopped in the truck. I plugged in my computer to my vehicle. Luckily, it has an outlet where it's like the three prongs. And so I plugged in my computer. I was like, all right, it's charging. If he does not have if he does not have electricity, let's run to town, because we're not going to be able to make coffee. And I needed coffee from staying up so late and working. I was going to need coffee. So I told him, I was like, all right, let's see if we can go to town, get some coffee. Okay. Cause I'm going to be tired. It's going to be a long day. And we went to drive past our house and, I see that the neighbors light, they have like this huge, like outdoor light. I don't know. And it was on, and I was like, oh, like we might have power. So we pulled in, we did have power, and I was like, great. Like we only wasted maybe about like 30 minutes of not having power, or at least not knowing that we didn't have power. So I plugged in my computer. It was doing its update. I was grabbing my coffee, made coffee, right? At home is so much better. And I was trying to find clothes because I didn't have my black leggings, could not find a pair anywhere. Okay. And I was rushing around, to be honest, but still like trying to do it at a quick pace, but not necessarily letting my heartbeat like get out of control. Hey, I hope that you're enjoying today's podcast episode. Just a quick interruption to let you know that the Golden Hour Drip podcast has a monthly newsletter. You'll find podcast updates, upcoming events and information, and bonus content. If you haven't already, click the link in the show notes and join today. Now, back to the show. I always remind myself the best way to control your nervous system or to reset and not freak out when you're in high stress situations is to go a little bit slower and taking the moment to like breathe. So although I was running around, I was trying to take deep breaths and I was like, okay, I have an hour before I need to leave. I need to get clothes. I need to work on my laptop a little bit. And I slowly but quickly, promptly, if you will, started crafting my email. And I love to have things perfectly thought out. I thought I was going to have over an hour to work on my email, but that's not the case. It was more like 20 minutes. And when I went to sit down, I was like, okay, I have 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to, like, I've worked so hard on the website that this just needs to direct them to the website so they're able to see the actual details. And I started typing it out. I was like, oh, should I have a GIF? And I was like trying to find that. I was like, no, that's not going to work. And I could just see the clock counting down. And I was like, this has to be scheduled in order for it to release at 10. I'm not going to be at my computer at 10. I'm not going to be able to look at it or see it. And I know people are going to be waiting. So it needs to work. I was putting it all together and it's like, okay, we're going to get this. We're going to do it. And at like 8:07, I had it saved. I was like, okay, I have to leave. Like, there's no, like, I cannot stay anymore or I'm going to be late. So I saved it and I rushed out the door. I was like, okay, like, there's nothing I can do now. It is scheduled for 10 and it's going to launch. And I forgot that I was also going to be with these girls because it was a last minute meetup to do a little walk. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like, if this doesn't work. And the night before I bought like a ticket and I tried it out and it did work because I wanted a confirmation email to be sent with the exact location, with details, with things so much like it just a little extra, just insurance that I appreciated them. And this is my first time using it. And there was a lot of user error. I was trying so hard. And on the way there, I was a little anxious, to be honest. And I had to practice my breathing. I had to ground myself in the moment because I was feeling a little cuckoo. Because with the entire month, with even before that, just like the breakdown of systems where my computer, my washer, our internet, it was all just not, it was allowing myself to find a better system and to also like redirect and change the course. And I knew that it's all how it's supposed to be, right? And when we are about to go into the next season, which is crazy, today is the first day of fall and it's almost beautiful in a way of the alignment because fall is literally the harvest and the decay of summer. So everything we've done this past summer, the zinnias are starting to die in front of my house. The farms are harvesting the corn, getting ready to harvest beans, or maybe doing the beans, or all of the things, right? The farmer's market, we just had our last farmer's market, and it's a great time to get really like niche down and think, oh gosh, like how did I spend the last summer? Was I proud of how I spent it? And what is working? What's going to go with me into the next season? And what am I leaving behind? And I feel like this past 2 weeks, I have really been isolating the things that I'm leaving behind and thinking to myself, okay, like this is not working. We have to move forward. We have to do something different. And so for me, and my, like the website, which it is loganleemiller.com. You can find it. But with that, I feel like it was the harvest of all the work that I put in. And before, when I was trying to do a website, I didn't necessarily know what to go on it. And like branding sessions, if you remember, if you've been on the podcast for a while, I got like photos, like branding photos taken last summer during 2022, like the summer I quit my job. And I went and I paid like over like $1,100 for 3 photos, guys, by the way, 3 photos. And I hated them photos. I hated the photo shoot. I hated my makeup. I hated everything about it. I still paid the money, right? Because that exchange of energy, it's important to pay people for their work, for their things. And I just remember feeling so defeated. Like these photos, I had the intention for like a podcast cover and to use on my website and to come and like get the photos and them not be good. I felt like I was spinning my wheels. But the past year, I have had meetups. I've had like 2 to 3 meetups a month. So I had a slew of photos from that. And I was like, this is actually what people want to see. Like I know myself when I see a professional photo and I know it's like in a studio. Yes, it's beautiful. I know it's beautiful, but there's something so great about seeing people. And so I feel like it was the summary of the past year for this website of all the work that I've done, all the things that we're going to like continue on for this next season, and everything else like is gonna fall away. Like I can't take it with me. It's not coming, or it would essentially hold me back. So it has been like a crazy 2 weeks, like really and truly. And I was kind of feeling by week 2. So I'm going to say like the 9th of September, I was thinking, oh my gosh, like I had like a lot of intentions. I had a lot of goals, but I wasn't like, there was other things happening and I felt like my energy was kind of chaotic. And so I like really, really took my goals seriously, and I've achieved more in the past 2 weeks than I have all year with this website. And to actually complete it, to actually have it pull together. And let me tell you this, it was a surreal moment. So I didn't think anybody would be like, oh, 10 o'clock, like got to pull out our phones. And I knew that the time was drawing near. Like my phone was like 9:57 and like lit up. And I was like, oh, like I had gotten a text. So I knew that it was coming. And I was like, okay, like now is the time. And we had like seven girls at lunch at the walk. Like some of them canceled because it rained, but we still had like a really good showing. And we're sitting there, and then one of my friends was like, oh, it's almost 10. Like we need to hop on for the tickets. We need to see what the event is. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and so everybody pulled out their phones, and on one hand, it was like so good because I got immediate feedback, but I was so nervous, guys. My heart was pounding. My cheeks, I could feel, were starting to get pink. I was like, oh, like it's so scary when you've worked on something for a long time and you're like, okay, like now it's ready to be observed. It's ready to be experienced. And so like everybody got the email and they're like going to the event. And I'm like, oh gosh, like so exciting, so nervy though. And they get into it and they're like, oh, I said, did you guys even read the email? Because they're like, oh, got on the website, because the last couple of events have sold out so quickly. Like the last event sold out in under 5 minutes. I was flabbergasted. I was so excited. But I was like, did you guys even read the email? And they're like, what? And so they went back and read it. And after, like, I say, okay, here's like the ticket link. At the second part, I said, actually, let me just read it to you. Let me just pull it up for you. And if you haven't subscribed to our email list, you really should. Okay. You can subscribe, loganleemiller.com. Oh, that just feels so good to say now that it's like completely done. Okay, so it says, hi witches, manifesting witches. It's officially the first day of fall and the weather did not disappoint. It's perfect, rainy, spooky vibes to announce our second October event. Manifesting witches, click the link for more details. And I had like the little card and then like tickets. And after that, I said, you'll notice that the ticket queue is different than the previous event drops. Golden Gal Network is completely up-leveling our communication to provide a better experience for you. With more to come, I'm so excited to launch our first website design. You might even find a secret event announcement. XOXO Logan. Actually, it's just XX. I never like the O's. So they went and then they were like navigating the website and they were able to see like all the things. And on one hand, it felt like they were opening like my secret diary, like they were seeing all the things that I've been working on. But I did get really good feedback and I'm super, super proud. And I just try to remember that no matter how hard I work on something, I know 6 months, a year from now, I'm going to look back and think, oh my gosh, like that is so clunky. Like I can do better, but you're never going to have the opportunity to improve on something if you don't first launch, like if you don't just get it out there. Because if I never recorded my first podcast episode, I wouldn't know like how to get better. I wouldn't know where I'm lacking. I wouldn't know like, and there's still area to improve. Like there's still things that I could be doing better, but I'm really proud of myself that it's launched. And I know now my energy can go to my gala because the website is taken care of. Like I'm not going to have to worry about needing to upgrade my services. And honestly, like I am just so grateful. Like after the event, I couldn't help but smiling. But with all things, I felt like my energy was like spent. Oh my gosh. Like just staying up so many nights and having like this super, super, super pinpointed focus on this website, trying to get it built out. I'm not a coder. Okay. And so that was so difficult, but I got it all done. And I was smiling on the way home and I had a quick lunch. Garrett made like hamburger poppers or something. Super good. I had an apple. I had a piece of pie. And do you know what I did? I took a nap. I have not taken a weekend nap in so long, guys. It has been so long. I love a weekend nap. And with the raininess outside and the coziness, and Garrett was watching, I don't know, some show on TV. And I knew that I needed to record a podcast, obviously, but I just started to I knew that there was nothing to do, nothing to change. My website was out there. People were going to love it or hate it. People are going to sign up for my event or they're not. And I knew that I had done everything that I could possibly do. I closed my eyes and I slept for like 4.5 hours. It was so good. Okay. I love a nap. But I woke up at 5 on the dot and I was like, okay, like I'm going to sit down and record. So that's why I look a little haywire. Okay. My hat, my hair, I slept in my hat. I'm surprised my contacts weren't actually like more dry than they were, because I feel like to take a good nap, you need to take out your contacts, if you wear glasses or any of those things, because I feel like they're always just like, ooh, not good. But I felt like my energy was it was gone. I needed some sleep. I needed to like just take that moment, and I might not sleep well tonight, but it was worth it. It was like the best nap ever. And I was like in the deepest sleep, and I woke up and I was like energized, and I feel really, really good. And I know that this is just like one piece, like getting the website together is just one piece. And now I can focus my energy in other areas, but it really is crazy how much you can do if you have a deadline, like a pressurizing deadline where you have to do the things, you have to get it done. And that was me. Like I put the pressure on myself for this Sunday and I got it completed. I did. And this is not to be like, oh, I have a day to completely do something. No, like give yourself some time to actually get it completed, but don't overestimate the time to actually get it completed, because so many times we're like, oh yeah, it'll take me a year to write the book, or maybe one day. No, like dial down, get those goals done, because now I can focus on other areas. I can do other things. And I really am excited for fall and what fall brings, because for me, it has always been like, I know I still have work to do, right? Like I have decided and told myself that like the second half of November and December are going to be like so family focused, and I need to do all of my like actual work and all of my like craziness beforehand. So I know that I have like more to do and more to like complete, because with my sister-in-law getting married in December, I want to make sure that I'm so present for that. I don't want to worry about other things. I also know that like my vlogs, I haven't posted a vlog in 2 weeks, and that's because I knew my focus needed to be on my website. And so not all the, like, we only have so much time. We only have so much focus. We only have so much energy, and there's going to be seasons, there's going to be periods where you can only focus on one thing, where you can only spend your energy in that one area. And for me, for the past 2 weeks, it has been this website. And so I'm really excited to get back into like vlogging and like experiencing other things and planning for the gala, and always more to come. But it feels so good to have this completed. It feels so good. Kind of like, and I didn't even realize that it lined up perfectly with the first day of fall. I didn't realize it, but it's kind of like closing the chapter on like, this website is going to be okay for a while. Like it might have like an update here and there, but I know I'm going to be able to use it. I know I'm going to, like it's mostly done. It's done. It's functional. It's not perfect, but it's functional. And now I can focus my energy in other areas. When you're trying to do too much, which I do often, it's really, really hard to actually get anything accomplished, right? Like when you have half-baked projects everywhere, it's not great. It's not good. And I'm excited to step into fall. And it was the perfect first day of fall. Like really and truly, I am so... like this was core memory weekend. Like there was so much magical stuff that happened, and I'm really, really grateful for the community around me. Like I'm so, so grateful. Although I was like embarrassed, obviously, like just a little, oh, like they're gonna look at this. I was so grateful for the girls that came out this morning and for them to like work or like look through it. Because there has to be a sense of pride with the things that you put out and the things that you do. And I felt like my heart was so full. And I know that because of my nature and the things that I like to do, I know this fall is still going to have like productive things. There's still things I want to achieve, still things that I want to do. But I know that it's also like almost, it's preparing for winter, and fall is definitely the decay. And so I know like things are still going to be like put to bed, right? If the trees can lose their leaves and not be green all the time, like the same goes for me. And so I am planning like restfulness. I am planning like periods of time where I am going to be able to enjoy and not be stressed. And even if it's like self-induced stress or pressure, I'm not going to worry about that. So I am planning for a break, but this weekend, this nap, that was break enough. I was like, oh yes, like I need this little break. I need this little pocket of time where I can be who I am and not like focus on anything else. And it's a really, really great feeling. So you might be in the same boat. You might be feeling that things are kind of like falling apart around you, and that's okay. I feel like at least in America, right? With the school seasons. I feel like fall or even like school is such like a restart time where it's all right, we're getting ready for the new school year. And for me, I love New Year's Eve. I love it so much. But New Year's is almost like I have multiple New Years in the year. I have multiple restarts. January 1st is one. My birthday is another, like the first day of my new age. School is also like another time where it's a restart, because when you are getting ready for school, you're getting a new backpack, you're getting notebooks, you're getting pens, and it's the start of a school year. And so for me, that's also like another time where I am like feeling a new start. And so in August, I was like, okay, it's like a school year. Like this is my school year. And I think these like little refreshers or this time to like clear the slate and try again. I have like a little calendar in my office, and it's a whiteboard. I write it out every month. I write it out. And to me, like that's a new time to like work on my goals. But it's also like able to keep track of what's going on. But I really feel like, with the seasons changing, that's another restart. There's so many ways to reframe it in your brain. You don't have to wait until a new year. You don't have to start working on the goals that make you happy or the things that are going to fill you up or change jobs or change careers. Like there is so much that you can do right now. Like as you're listening, you might be listening to this podcast episode on a Monday. That's when my long episodes release, on a Monday. And so that's a new start. That is a new week. So anything that you're wanting to focus on, like there's still 2 weeks, it's more like a week and a half of September left. And so if you had goals for yourself this September, like you're able to complete them. Like the time that you give it is the time it's going to take. So like, you can have a restart right now. You can have a restart come October. And I keep trying to remind myself that there's like still so much time in the year, and balancing like the heavy lifting and balancing like the go-ness with like times of quiet, with times of peacefulness, with being able to like relax and recuperate. And I truly believe that the cutoff at 6:30, like not like, again, yes, there was a couple days that I had to work past that. Like I had my laptop, I was staying up later, but to have that mentality of, okay, there is going to be a time to break. There is going to be a time to like close my computer where I don't have to continue working. I was talking to one of my very good friends, and she was like, yeah, I've been working a lot of overtime at the office, and I thought about logging on Saturday. Like we were having brunch this past Saturday, and she's like, yeah, I thought about like logging on today. I was like, why don't log on? Like set the boundary. Like, and then today, like she came to the walk as well, and she was like, gosh, like I think I might have to log on today. I was like, don't log on. And as soon as I got into my car, I was like, here I am telling her that she needs to like set the boundary. And have I been following the boundary? Have I been doing a good job? And I will say, like, I've been improving. I've been doing better. I've been setting the boundary a little bit better. And I also think that like having intentional breaks is where you don't get caught up in like the doom scroll. I will say like my screen time on my cell phone has reduced drastically because I was, having the screen time on my computer, but even just like having the cutoff. And I was thinking like as a kid, like, what was I doing without my phone? Like I was doing so much. And instead of like wishing for more hours in a day, like how can you utilize the hours that you have? Like how can you pivot? How can you cut out things? How can you just like reframe to where you are so dialed into doing the other thing that you don't have time to like, you're like, okay, like I can draw. I can work on my quilt because we are in fall now. We are in the fall season. And although I will spend some time outside, like I'm going to spend a lot of time inside. And so I'm going to work on my t-shirt quilt. That's not on my computer. And just having the boundaries in place. I feel like this was if we think about the rings in a tree, and how like during the summer there's more water, and so the rings are like thicker, and in the winter like the rings are smaller, because if you think of like a tree and counting the rings are how many years that tree has been alive. And so if I think about my rings, I'm like, okay, like during the summer we're going to get a lot of water. During the fall, we might not get as much water, but we're still growing. Like we're still like, it might be a slower growth. We might be taking more intentional time for the breaks, but it's still growth. I'm still going to be growing in the fall, still going to be growing in the winter. And with that, oh my gosh. So my website, you really should go check it out. I've talked about it most of this episode, and, go check it out. If you have anything on your heart where you're like, you know what, like I want to do something creative. I want to have more space. I want to have a boundary from work where I am doing something else. If you're able to like tell yourself that, hey, like I need to have a passion project. I need to work on something else. Go check it out. Like see what I did. See how you can make it your own and do something similar, or maybe it's totally different. Maybe you have a different dream, or there's something that like makes you so passionate. There is a section on there. It's called About. It has a little blurb about me, really cute photo next to my zinnias, because you guys know I love my zinnias. But I have podcasts on there, so always you can listen to the podcast. For my meetup group, you can do a monthly or a matchup. So if you're in the Kansas City area and want a little matchup, check it out. But also if you're needing a little help, like navigating, if you're needing some assistance, I have 2 different options on there. I have like a crossroad conversation. So if you want to like sit and talk about like something challenging right now in this moment where you're like not sure, and you feel like your loved ones, your family, your friends, they don't understand, I would love to have a conversation. If you're looking for more like motivation, if you're looking for more mentoring, if you want like a podcast basically, but not a podcast, more like a Zoom or an in-person meeting, where we can like have it customized to you and your plan, there's also that. So click on it, let me know, because I find it so fun to talk about what like growth we're having, right? Like that's what the podcast is. It's lifestyle, of course. Like I'm always going to be talking about my life, but it has a growth mindset. So we're going to be talking about getting better every single day. We're going to be talking about how you can hone your goals. How can you do all the things. And of course, like you can always come back to the podcast episode, but if you're wanting something more customized, if you have questions, check out my website. And I'm also really proud of it. So LoganLeeMiller.com, which is crazy. Like it's so crazy. You can also follow me on social media. Instagram is Logan Lee Miller. I'm so proud of myself, first off, for like including my maiden name. If you don't know, like when Garrett and I first got married, I wasn't sure on if I was just going to take his last name or what I was going to do, but the handle for Logan Miller was unavailable. So Logan Lee Miller was available, and I ended up changing that like 2 months before we actually got married. I was like, no, I want this handle. I want it. And so now it's really paid off. Like you can find me everywhere at Logan Lee Miller, and that is insane. I'm so proud of myself, right? And I would love to celebrate you too. So if there's something that you are really proud of, send me a DM. Or if you have any questions about what I did, send me a DM. Okay. I'm everywhere. I am excited. I feel like I have so much energy, but I feel like I also could sleep like another 8 hours. I've already slept 5 this afternoon, but now I'm like, oh gosh, like we need to find some food. We need to take a shower because I got rained on this morning. Let me tell you, it really was like the perfect Sunday. A little hot girl walk, a little coffee with my friends, a really nice lunch, a long ass nap, and I just got done talking to some of my best friends. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you have an awesome week. I hope you have an awesome restart, and you know what? I will see you in the next one. It might be Friday, it might be Monday, it might be all the things. Change is coming. I love you so much. Bye.